Hello and welcome to another Overpaid Over the Bar with me, Anthony, looking back at the double game week 33 and ahead to game week 34 this week. And well, it was as big as it promised to be in terms of potential points, especially for those who were on the bench boost, who saw lots of Brighton, Bournemouth, um, players that maybe teams who weren't on bench boost or free hit didn't have. Those players came through, Leeds as well. Now, I was very worried in the middle of this game week, but I tell you who saved me, and that was João Pedro. Because if we look at my team for this week, my first sub on my bench was James Justin. And João Pedro not playing on the Tuesday for Chelsea brought him off the bench with a mammoth score of 16 points, which he increased to 19 on Wednesday night. So my defense on my free hit was very, very good indeed. And Verbruggen got 8 points in goal. Obviously, the Chelsea players did very little, as did Semenyo. And I had Cherky, Haaland, and Calvert-Lewin. Now, this might look like a big score, 114 points. But actually, it was only one above the score I needed to get a green arrow. So I just got a green arrow, I think, yes, of 30, up to 13K. I mean, really, it could have been a lot worse. And I was saying that after these three game weeks up to game week 34, I really wanted to just be in the top 20K, given my chip strategy, where I've saved my wild card and my bench boost to game week 35. So I do feel very lucky at this point, especially from James Justin, and his contribution, because without that, I would have had a red arrow, no doubt. So otherwise, I did make some good decisions. Cherky, I mean, I could have got O'Reilly. I think O'Reilly outscored Cherky, so that's arguable. I mean, who was to know Semenyo would not get any goal contributions in these two games? Calvert-Lewin did well up front. The players, I mean, really, O'Reilly hurt me again, like he did in game week 32. So I might well get him in game week 35 on my wild card because I don't want that happening again. Leeds did very well. I don't know if you saw Leeds in these games. I mean, they came back at the end against Bournemouth to get 2-2. They won their home game against Wolves very convincingly. Leeds are having a very good end of the season here. So let's keep an eye on them because they seem to be really enjoying their football. And they got they're pretty much safe, so that the pressure's off them now. I mean, you could argue they're on the beach, as they say, but I don't know. So whether you had a chip or not, that really determined whether how well you did in this game week. And as we see in the paid over the bar table, Freddie also played his free hit, got 99. Um, Keith without a chip there got 81. Piers, I think, played his free hit on this one. Let me just check. Yes, played the free hit. Had Okafor and O'Reilly, bit of a different teams of mine, but very similar score. Um, and then the real big hitter of the week was Bayern Brew, Scotland's very own Craig Anderson, who got 129 points on the bench boost. Very disappointed he was that João Pedro didn't become his 15th player. But despite that, he had Pascal Gross, he had O'Reilly, Van Heck, a lot of big scores in there. Strauch, two returning goalkeepers. Very, very good score. Takes him up to fourth in his work league, which I know is a big deal for him in Aberdeen there where he works. And he's not, I don't think that's well, what's that, 60? Yeah, maybe that's too many points to I know in that college there's a big deal about who wins that mini league. So best of luck to him for the rest of the season in terms of that. All right, now we're looking at game week 34 where we have seven fixtures. The three fixtures that were the extra ones in 33 are the ones missing from game week 34, which means no Manchester City, Chelsea, Leeds, Bournemouth, Brighton, and Burnley. Right. What should you be looking at in this game week? First of all, I think we can safely say Manchester United and Liverpool have good home fixtures. Spurs at Wolves is worth a punt, but I mean, is that reliable? I'm not sure. Wolves are definitely better at home than they are away. Arsenal at home to Newcastle. Newcastle seem to be going through a very difficult time. They do have Bruno Guimaraes back, and that's making a difference to the way they play. Fulham at home to Aston Villa. That could go either way. Sunderland home to Forest. I feel the same way about that one. I don't think there's a real result. And West Ham Everton's a bit similar. It could go either way. But you might want to try West Ham defender, for example, an Everton defender. You might want to go for a Sunderland or a Forest defender. But I think Liverpool and Manchester United are the teams to concentrate on in terms of attacking players. I have some problems in this looking at this game week. I have a lot of doubtful players. Timber, Alderete, and Mbermo, all doubtful. I think Mbermo less doubtful than Alderete. I don't really know what the problem is with Alderete. Timber, there's no sign of him coming back yet. I'm going to keep an eye on Arsenal news, but it really will, because I'm not playing a chip again this week, it's going to leave me with eight players or nine. I'm going to sign a keeper. Yeah, that would leave me with actually at the minute I've got seven players if none of those players play. This is a really difficult one for me. I need to work out how many hits I can justifiably take, and I need to just bank on Burmo playing, I think, and hopefully Alderete will as well. Timber, I'm not so sure about. So I'm a bit worried. I'll sign a keeper, one that's hopefully going to keep a clean sheet. I might even sign the Liverpool keeper. I don't know which one it's going to be. That's the problem because Alisson's out, and the two reserve keepers, the first reserve keeper, Mamadashvili, is also a bit injured, so I don't really know which Liverpool keeper to buy, but I'll buy a Liverpool keeper for sure. So the fixtures, um, I think Liverpool. The only thing I do have Mo Salah, which very few teams have, and he might go off, and I might captain him just in case he does. But then Bruno Fernandes at home to Brentford is a better option. I just feel that Brentford are the type of team that Man United don't like playing. Manchester United prefer the other team to have the ball sometimes. It helps them, helps their attacking play. They're very swift on the counter attack. And Brentford like the same thing. And I just think if ever there's a game where Man United might slip up, it's this one. At home to Leeds, I mean, they had a very bad game at home to Leeds, but it was similar. So I'm just wondering if I might dare captain Mo Salah for this one. Other choices for Liverpool include Szoboszlai, Wirtz, Isak, but he's not looking just like he didn't earlier in the season. He doesn't look sharp at all. You might want to go for Arsenal defenders at home to Newcastle. You might want to have two or even three. Manchester United, you could, if you wanted to, you could go, if you're on a free hit, you could go Bruno Fernandes and Burma and Cunha. I don't think any of the defenders are worth looking at personally. I think Brentford might score in that game. And up front, there's an argument for various players. Bowen at home to Everton, possibly even Beto at West Ham. Solanke at Wolves is a decent shout. Also, Watkins at Fulham. Watkins is on good form and he's been bought by a lot of people. I'm not going to go there, but I do think it's a good shout. Apart from that, Chris Wood's back for Forest, but not playing that well. So there's a few strikers you might want to get if you're looking for a forward, and I need to replace Ekatike. So I'm going to get a goalkeeper and a forward. At least one hit I'm going to take, possibly two. And I think I'm going to go for Solanke. I just think Spurs might score at Wolves, and he's good differential. I prefer him to Watkins at Fulham. I think Fulham are very well organised and don't concede many goals at home. Whereas Wolves, you never know, they might just collapse against a very motivated Spurs team. Although of course have problems, but Spurs have Bentancur back, and who's the other midfield player? Bissouma is playing pretty well as well. So that's made their midfield more solid. And of course, Xavi Simons, who you might want to look at as a transfer, had a good game against Brighton. Um, the title race is looking like it's going to Manchester City. But remember now, with Manchester City only winning 1-0 at home to Burnley, I think they're only one goal ahead of Arsenal. So they say it's in Manchester City's hands, but actually, if Arsenal win all their games by more goals than Manchester City do from this point on, they could both win all their games and Arsenal would win the league. I'm really not sure that's true. I just imagined that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's true. You have to check that information. But I think Arsenal could still win the league on goal difference by winning all their games and Manchester City winning all their games. So it's really fascinating. The relegation battle is also very interesting. And I am on tenterhooks with my team, Exeter City, looking to stave off relegation to the fourth tier, which they could do with a win at Burton on Saturday. I mean, at least they could go a long way to securing that with a win at Burton on Saturday. Burton are not that great. It's a very difficult fixture, but I'll be watching that one on Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Whoever your team is, I wish you good luck for this weekend, and hopefully your fancy team will also do the business. If you're playing in the overpaid over the bar league, well done, because our league is the average points are really good. Have a lot of players inside the top million. It's a very good standard, so everyone's doing great. I will see you again next week on Thursday. Have a great game week. Bye bye.